Good morning, wherever you are. It's a beautiful. Good morning, wherever you are. It's a beautiful Friday morning. Good morning, wherever you are. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and I welcome you to the program Time with the Outgoing Director. Good morning, wherever you are. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and I welcome you to the program Time with the Outgoing Director. My name is DSP Irene Redu Pitsena. Good morning, wherever you are. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and I welcome you to the program Time with the Outgoing Director. My name is DSP Irene Redu Pitsenatha, and it's my absolute joy to come your way today. The program is sponsored by Campus Mineral Water, your #1 water in town. For bulk purchase, contact 020-171-6541 or 020-811-5870. You are watching this program live on our Facebook and YouTube handles, Ghana Prisons Service. Now to my guest. My guest today is an astute prison officer who has over 28 years working experience in different sectors of corrections management. He is a trained human rights activist who has used his knowledge and expertise to groom and mentor young officers across the country. He's been one of the key players of the management body of the Ghana Prison Service. Due to hard work, perseverance, and commitment, he rose successfully through the ranks of the senior corps, from an assistant superintendent of prisons to an enviable rank of a director of prisons. He demonstrated an art of leadership by living an exemplary life on the journey of success in his tenure as the commandant of the Prison Officers Training School. He stood by his trainees and officers at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. His selflessness and always putting others first before him motivated him to put in place measures to contain the viral disease and also prevent it from spreading to other individuals. Considering his professional expertise, acumen, and past meritorious service, it came as no surprise when on the 1st of March 2021, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufuado, in consultation with the Prison Service Council, appointed him as a director of prisons. He has an underpinning philosophy which evolves from his faith in the Almighty God. Thus, he believes that his appointment as a director of prisons is one of a divine calling. Viewers, my guest today is the outgoing director of prisons in charge of finance, Mr. Samuel ADJEI. Good morning, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, Irene.
It's my pleasure to have you here this morning.
It's also my pleasure to
First of all, I would like to congratulate you for having worked for close to 3 decades in the Ghana Prison Service. It's no mean achievement, and I say a big congratulations to you, sir.
Thanks so much.
So first of all, could you tell us something about yourself, where and when you were born, your social life, hobbies? Just tell us something about yourself, sir.
Okay. My name is DOP Samuel ADJEI, as you rightly mentioned. I was born to Mr. Isaac ADJEI of Enum in the eastern region of Ghana, and Madam Esther Botokua of Latte, also from the eastern region of Ghana. I was the first of 7 children, 5 males and 2 females. My education started with ATTAH Experimental Primary School in the year 1970. where I took the examination, the common entrance examination, and entered ADJEI Secondary School in the 1976-77 academic year. I was at ADJEI Secondary School for just 2 years, and then joined the Centenary Greenhorns of Infantsfield School, where I took my O-level and my A-level examinations. I passed with flying colors, and in 1985 entered the University of Ghana, where I took a course in the humanities. I majored in psychology and minored in sociology, and came out with a second-class upper division in the year 1988. I'm also a proud holder of a postgraduate certificate in public administration, a Master of Science in Defense and International Politics, both from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. I also have a PSc from the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, and also an MA from the University of Education, Winneba. For my hobbies, I am a football fan, and I support Accra House of Folk as my local club. And then on the international scene, I support Chelsea Football Club. I was an athlete during my youthful days at Infantsfield School, where I participated in the inter-schools athletic competitions in the event of 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters. In my quiet time, I like reading novels a lot. And I'm married to Madam Vivienne Edubuatin, with whom I have 4 adorable children.
Okay. So, sir, please, can you share with us your career as a prison officer? How you were enlisted into the service, the number of prison establishments you have worked, and also positions held there. Then you finally end with conferences and workshops attended. Okay.
Before joining the Ghana Prison Service, I did 1 year national service with the Central Revenue Department, now known as the Internal Revenue Service. Then after the university, I also did another year of national service with the Produce Buying Company as an Ekuafu check monitor at Aguna Odobin. I also taught for 4.5 years, precisely from March 1991 to November 1995, as economics tutor at Asemanso Secondary School. My journey with the Ghana Prison Service began in December 1995, where I joined the Officer Cadet course intake 13. This course, which initially started with 30 participants, eventually ended with 29 of us graduating. And after a 6 months strenuous paramilitary training, I was eventually posted to Ankafu Main Camp Prison as the staff officer to the Central Regional Commander in June 1996. I was transferred again in the year 2021 to Ankafu Contagious Disease Prison, first as the second in command, but eventually I became the officer in charge of that institution when the officer in charge went on retirement. In the year 2004, I was transferred to the medium security prison at Nsawam as the welfare officer. I was at Nsawam for just 1 year and was eventually brought to James Camp Prison as the second in command in the year 2005. Eventually, I became the officer in charge of James Camp Prison 2 when the officer in charge went on peacekeeping operations. In 2006, I found myself at Fafra Camp Prison as the officer in charge. I was there for 3 years. So in 2009, I was once again transferred to the Prison Officers Training Schools as the deputy commandant. Because Fafra Prison was dissolved and all the officers had to be transferred to various stations in the country, I didn't keep long at James Prison Officers Training School. Barely 6 months of being transferred to Prison Officers Training School, I was again transferred to Winneba Local Prison as the officer in charge. From 2009 up to 2016, I was at Winneba, but I was transferred again to Secondary Central Prison as the Deputy Western Regional Commander. In 2017, I was transferred once again to Wa Central Prison as the Upper West Regional Commander. 2018, I found myself at the Prison Officers Training School as the commandant of the institution. In 2021, after the interview for promotion, I was promoted to be the director of prison and therefore find myself at the prison headquarters. So, in short, I will say I've been to 11 prison institutions in the country. 6 of them as the officer in charge or the regional commander. In 4 of the stations, I was the deputy, the 2IC to the OIC or the regional commander. And at one station, I was the welfare officer, and at another station, I was the staff officer to the regional commander. I've attended a few conferences, but many conferences. And those that I can recall is the course that I attended on anti-corruption organized by the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice at the Probe Room in Accra. I also attended this workshop on NACOC Act 2020, Act 1019, organized by the Narcotic Control Commission. I also a participant at the workshop organized jointly by the African Correctional Services Association, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the Kenyan Prison Service. This workshop took place in Nairobi, Kenya. Again, I took part in a workshop on the new staff appraiser, performance management policy, payroll, and budgetary control process, organized by the Institute of Management and Public Entrepreneurship. Also a participant at this workshop organized by the Institute of Professional Project Managers on master class in project management for development, and many others that if I say I want to recall all of them, it will take the whole period.
That has been a wonderful journey.
Yes.
For 7-11 stations, which covers almost all the regions we have in Ghana,
Yeah.
and finally ending at prison's headquarters. It's been a wonderful journey. Sir, please, can you share with us your international exposure, including a UN mission?
Yes, and when I was at Winneba, precisely on the 25th of May 2011 to 23rd May 2014, I was seconded to the UN mission in Darfur. Precisely the UN hybrid operation in Darfur, UNAMID, Sudan. My first posting was to Kutum team site, where I had to deal with the prison director. They call the officers in charge prison directors. And I was again redeployed from Kutumtin side and had to come to El Fasher. At El Fasher, I dealt with the prison directors of Shala Federal Prison, Shala Juvenile Home, and K. Kananga Women Prison. My main duties at these prison establishments were to interact with the prison directors, find out the challenges that they are facing, as well as offer technical advice to them. Again, I have to assist in the organization of weekly meetings with the state director of prison and then the prison directors on strategic and tactical programs and projects in support of prison activities, as well as meeting with other stakeholders in the vicinity who are also involved in assisting prison projects. Specifically, I'm talking about UNDP, I'm talking about UNHCR, and other institutions that also go into supporting prison activities. Again, I was involved in organizing or assessing the training needs of the government of Sudan prison staff in the designing, organizing, and facilitating of the training programs. And so I was involved in the training of these staff into in the basic human rights approaches to prison duties, international, what do you call it? Prison duties. I was also involved in the in-service training, career development courses, and other training activities, which was aimed at bringing these prison staff with the skills needed for properly treating the inmates to international level. I was also involved in the planning, monitoring, and supervision of quick impact projects. These are projects that are constructed in the prison establishments that are aimed at assisting the inmates or people who work in the prison facilities to international standard. I was also involved in management activities, and on a few occasions I was elected as the officer in charge of the Sector North Rule of Law Prison Advisory Unit when the team leader was out of the mission area.
Okay, sir. Sir, having worked with prison service for 28 years, I know there have been times that you said, I wish I had never joined the service. You've had your good times and your bad times. Can you share with us some of your achievements and challenges as an officer?
I have had a few successes, and I've also had some challenges. I regard my successes as achievements because they were initially challenges which were overcome. And I would like to highlight a few of them. The primus inter pares is my period at a prison officers training school as the commandant, where I had to train and pass out 5 recruit courses and 2 officer cadet courses at the peak of the pandemic. During this period, some of my staff and many of the course participants were infected with the virus. and had to be isolated at the various isolation centers scattered throughout the country. In Accra here, they were at Ghana East Isolation Center, and then the Elwak Sports Stadium Isolation Center. Some were even asked to self-isolate. So this period called for a lot of arrangements, a lot of innovation, to the extent that sometimes we had to take the examination for the course participants electronically, because they are already infected. They cannot bring them to the place, and therefore you have to find a means of testing them, passing or failing them or whatever. And we did our best. Our families were at risk, but the job had to be done, and we had to sacrifice and then do the job. Again, at the Prison Officers Training School, there was a lot of infrastructure development. The one that stands out, in my estimation, is the renovation of the Boster Hall, which involved the complete re-roofing of the structure, the changing of the doors and windows into metal doors, into glass windows, complete rewiring of the edifice, repainting, fixing of 16 air conditioners, ceiling fans, construction of a platform in the hall, and complete retiling of the place. And I think it was a major effort. Again, when I became the director of prison in charge of health, I had to conduct a sensitization tour to prisons in the country on lifestyle diseases. And by these lifestyle diseases, hypertension, the diabetes, the cancers, the strokes, and those non-communicable diseases that were afflicting the personnel of the service. We had to do this because as a directorate we realized that many of our officers were succumbing to these diseases, and therefore there was a need for intervention. This team, which was led by myself, included our medical doctors, our public health experts, and the physician assistants that we had. And we toured many prison facilities, and the response was very massive. I was also able to solve an age-old problem confronting this service, where we had a certain category of our health personnel known as the health aides, who had been trained by us and had been working with the service for a very long time, but now were no more recognized by the Ghana Health Service, and therefore they were not being paid market premium. In collaboration with the National Vocational Training Institute, we organized the training for this category of health personnel and upgraded them to healthcare assistants. So therefore, now they are able to take market premium. I was also able to get accreditation for in some prison hospital to be able to train healthcare training, healthcare training programs for whoever wants to take in that. Again, I was able to appoint health promotion focal persons for all the prison establishments in Ghana. So now, as we speak now, we have this personnel all over the country. Their job basically is to liaise with the hospital facilities in their areas, and then so that they bring in drugs, they bring training programs, get doctors to come and assist them in the prison facilities where there is a need for. So this also a very important thing that was done. I also recall when I was at Frafra Camp Prison as the officer in charge, I collaborated with Heifer International Ghana. This is an NGO, and we are able to undertake sheep, goat rearing, grass cutter rearing, and poultry production. It was so massive that we were recognized by the ATTAH municipality as the best agro institution during the Best Farmer Awards during that year. When I became the Director of Prison in charge of finance, I've also been able to organize the accounting, audit, procurement, and then the pension staff to put in effective measures into the Ghana Prison Service.
Well done, sir. You are watching Time with the outgoing director, and my guest today is the Director of Prisons in charge of finance, Mr. Samuel ADJEI. The program is sponsored by Campus Mineral Water, your #1 water in town. You are watching us live on our Facebook and YouTube handles, Ghana Prison Service. Sir, please, in which way would you say that you have used your profession to impact the service?
Okay. I have a background in psychology, and that background shaped my interest in the needs, hopes, and aspirations of individual people. I came to have this philosophy that by tackling the needs and aspirations, hopes and aspirations of individuals, the collective interests are eventually addressed. So, for example, if you tackle the skills training or vocational skills training deficit of an individual, you end up solving the financial needs of that family. And then eventually, that particular person that you have intervened becomes less of a threat to the society. So wherever I've been, I've tried to meet people at their point of need on the individual basis. So, for example, at Winneba Prison, I established a counseling unit, which is operating up to today, for both inmates and officers. I also collaborated with the non-formal division of the Ghana Education Service and established an adult literacy class for the inmates at Winneba Prison, just to sharpen the literacy and numeracy skills of these inmates to make them better people in future. At Nsawam Prison, when I was the welfare officer, I was responsible for dealing with the individual needs of officers as well as inmates, trying to resolve many issues that confronted them. And I think we did our bit. My background in human rights enabled me now to focus on the needs of individuals, focus on those things that uphold or detract from our dignity as human beings. So I'm looking at accommodation issues, the health issues, issues concerning their feeding, their contact with the outside world. And this background really helped me a lot when I went on peacekeeping operations in Sudan, because now I had to come face to face with real issues that people had to deal with in conflict and post-conflict periods. Deprivation that people encounter during these periods. And in fact, I must say that period helped me a great deal. So even when I came back, And I found myself, I would say that period is also a training ground for me, because when I came from the hot desert, I eventually found myself at Wa, where the weather was similar. And I was able to survive at Wa because I'd already had that initial training from my experience in the mission area. I was able to then concentrate on the sanitation issues with the provision of 8 new complete WCs to improve the sanitation of the facility, as well as the complete repainting of the whole prison structure during that period.
Wonderful. So you were an officer in charge of Winneba Local Prison.
Yes.
Then the regional commander of Upper West Region. Subsequently, you were the commandant of the Prison Officers Training School. And these are key institutions in the Ghana Prison Service. Could you please share your experience as a manager in these institutions?
These were very exciting times in my period in the Ghana Prison Service. If you think they are all institutions under the Ghana Prison Service, but if you look at it closely, these prisons that you have mentioned fall under 2 categories. In one of the categories, as a manager, you deal directly with the inmates. Yes. You look at their issues that they are confronted with, their health, their accommodation issues, how they go to court, whether they are being treated fairly or not. I was also involved in their training, trying to imbibe in them the skills that will make them proper, functioning, and relevant people in the society on discharge. So that was what I did initially with these 2 institutions. At the Prison Officers Training School, the experience was quite different, because now you have to deal with the officers who are now going to treat the inmates. So issues concerning with curricula, the training curricula, issues that has to do with training schedules, and all that was required to be done to train the officers properly, so that they can also discharge their duties to the inmates wherever they found themselves. And this presented a huge challenge. A huge challenge because this period also coincided, as I said earlier on, with the onset of the COVID-19 disease. But with the help of and assistance of a dedicated staff, we were able to train 2,203 recruits and 290 officer cadets. So in total, we trained 2,493 officers within a period of about 2.5 years. And I think we did our bit to the extent that I think the authorities recognized this and then made me the regional commander, Greater Accra Regional Commander during that period. So now, instead of only the training school, I had to now shoulder the responsibility of representing 3 other institutions in the Greater Accra region at RECSEC.
Sir, soon you'll bring your good work to an end. I want you to share with us, what will you remember prison service for after working close with 3 decades in the Ghana Prison Service as an officer?
Yeah. It's all gratitude. Gratitude to the Ghana Prison Service. I'm grateful to the service, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to interact with people of different ethnic, cultural, and social backgrounds in this country. I told you at the beginning of the interview that I've been to 11 stations. all over the country. And this has afforded me the opportunity to meet with different people. And I've encountered different needs, different challenges in their lives, and I've done my bit to assist them. They've also impacted me one way or the other. And I think this has made me a better person. I've been able to appreciate life as I see through the people I've encountered with. Again, I'm grateful to the service for seconding me to the UN peacekeeping operations in Sudan. Because again, it afforded me the opportunity to deal with and interact with people of multicultural backgrounds. Also, it made me to experience at first hand people living with conflict. The effects of conflict on people, how to deal with such situations. I did my best in trying to organize people to come to the assistance, and this was really an exciting period in my life. Again, I'm grateful to the service for enabling me to take really good care of my family. I'm sure I couldn't have done what I've been able to do for them without the Ghana Prison Service, and I'm eternally grateful.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how do you see Ghana Prison Service in the next 5 years?
I think the service has a very bright future, because in the last few years, I've been involved in the training of the personnel that have been enlisted into the service. And during that period, we have been enlisted a lot of personnel. I have also dealt with or come into contact with a few of them, especially the senior officers, since graduation. And what I have seen and I experienced with them gives me hope that when they get the fundamentals right and they finish learning the rudiments of the service, they will be an important inclusion to our ranks. I'm grateful, and I know that they will do very well within the very near future. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You are watching Time with the outgoing director, and my guest today is the Director of Prisons in charge of Finance, Mr. Samuel ADJEI ATTAH.
Yeah.
Our program is sponsored by Campus Mineral Water, your #1 natural mineral water in town. For bulk purchase, contact 020-171-6541. And you are watching this program live on our Facebook and YouTube handles, Ghana Prisons Service. Sir, officers all over the world are watching you.
Okay.
Ghanaians all over the world are watching you. What is your final advice to officers and Ghanaians?
To my officers, I want to tell them to hasten slowly in life. And they should also realize that there's a reward in honest dedication to duty and support, unalloyed loyalty to their superiors. I'm saying this because I realize that our officers, the young officers generally, are in so much of a haste. They want to get everything at the same time, and they are prepared to do everything in order to achieve or attain their goals. I want to tell them that they should take their time. But if you rush in life, you leave so many things behind. They should take their time. They should hasten slowly. That Rome was not built in a day. They should get the fundamentals right, and they'll have a very bright future. Again, I want to urge them to give their maximum support and loyalty to their superiors. And that is one of the surest paths to get to the pinnacle of your chosen career. At this juncture, I also like to ask the officers to be calm. That the prison directorate is working and doing everything in their power to deal with the issues regarding their non-salary related allowances. If we had the money, we would have paid this allowance long time ago. But we also have to take the money from somewhere. I want to assure them that once those allowances are credited into their account, they will immediately be released to them, and to solve the problems that we are facing now. To the general public, let me say that it is time to end the negative perception that people have about the Ghana Prison Service. The people in our prisons have a lot of needs, and it is you and I, we the brothers and sisters of these people in incarceration, who have to deal with these issues. One must note that if we don't reform and rehabilitate these people very well, they will come back to society to hunt us. And therefore, there's a need for us to offer our widow's mite, put our shoulders to the wheel, and offer the little assistance that we can get in order to get these people properly reformed so that they will become relevant people in our communities on discharge.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. You heard it all from our Director of Prisons in charge of finance, Mr. Samuel ADJEI. Remember what he said? Rome was not built in a day. So whatever we are doing in life, we have to take it one step at a time. If you rush in life, you will leave so many things behind. I hope you enjoyed today's program. My name once again is DSP Irene Redu Pitsenatha. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.